do what we do, but this is kind of what makes it special. I know that there are some GoGi Wine Club members here, wherever you guys are. Okay, nice to see you here. And because you've heard me talk before, kind of getting in the weeds a little bit about making wine, I'll try to mix it up for you a little bit today. There's the fun and the absolute pleasure that I have of having had the opportunity to learn to make wine, continue to learn to make wine. We'll talk about that a little bit, and then after that, I'm going to open it up for some questions for 5 or 10 minutes. So if you've got any questions, think about them now, and don't be afraid to ask them. Don't be afraid to be the first one to say something. Nobody's watching. my theory of life. Before that, I'd like to talk about the reason for making wine. In my case, if you grew up in my household, you grew up with a mother and a father who were entertainment people. My dad was a professional ball player, my mom was a professional dancer, and I became a ball player. My dad was also an actor, many, many years in the business, so I saw that. But what was interesting was to be in this house where these people took seriously, and it went back to my grandfather who had a resort in Maine, the idea of providing a good time for somebody. In the case of a ball player, you're given the talent at birth, and then you have to take that talent and work with people who know what they're doing to teach you to make it better, so that when you get to that position and you're in front of people and you have the opportunity to entertain them, to make them happy, you try to drive in that winning run from third base. Of course, if you're playing away, you also have the wonderful opportunity of listening to those people go very quiet. But that's baseball. If you're an actor, again, you're given whatever talent you're given in the beginning, but you learn more about it as you work with great directors, other great actors, and hopefully you learn from them and you grow from them, giving you the opportunity again to give somebody a great experience. I've had that in other fields as well, but wine was the one that really struck me in terms of the opportunity to not just provide a great time, but to, in a silent partner way, be a part of that great time. I started to fall in love with wine more about 30 years ago when I was going on bicycle trips in Europe with GoGi. And we would go to France, we'd go to Italy, Germany, Spain, all great places to take these trips. But France in particular stuck out in my mind because there were a couple of places, Bordeaux and Burgundy, that were just magical rides. And GoGi and I would find some little lane, some really cool little spot to do what? To go down there, sit down there, have a conversation, have a memorable moment that would be enhanced, inevitably, with great wine. That appealed to me. So I wanted to learn to make it. Now, how do you do that? If you want to make a wine that you've fallen in love with, which in my case were the Burgundian reds, it's a long way from here. I live in Los Angeles. I wanted to have a hands-on. I wasn't interested in slapping a name on a label. That would just be purely embarrassing and no reason at all to do it. So I wanted to be able to get in the field, get in the winery, have somebody take me under their wing as I did in baseball and acting, and learn how to become good at it. But I had something in particular, and that was I wanted to make that kind of wine. I ran into that opportunity in Santa Rita Hills in 2007 when I was working with Quentin Tarantino on a movie called Death Proof. And I was sitting, waiting for my cue to go forth, and I was always looking at this beautiful vineyard in front of me and saying to myself, yeah, that's really what I would love to have. That's what I'd love to do. But I didn't know what first step to take. I didn't know where to go, who to talk to. And a friend of mine, about a year later, started making wine and said, if you want to start making wine, you got to get into it. You just got to jump in there and go. He said, I want to introduce you to some people. We went to the world of Pinot and Pismo. If you ever get an opportunity to do that, it's a great thing for Pinot drinkers. And I met there two people, Peter and Rebecca Work, who have Amplos cellars in Santa Rita Hills. So as we're driving now to go to their vineyards so that I can meet them, we turn the corner, and of course, that's the vineyard that I've been looking at when I was working with Tarantino. And they said, this is a little serendipitous, this might work. So they interviewed me, and they wanted to make sure that they weren't interested in a celebrity who wanted to put their name on the bottle, and that fit. And I told them what kind of wine I wanted to make and what I wanted to learn to do, and they said, okay, we're gonna help you do that. So I started with 1 barrel and grew from there. I think that the most fun that I've had with wine is not just being in the vineyard, learning about it, being in the winery, learning about it, and getting the opportunity to do what I want to do. But it is events like this where you get to share your time. The other thing I enjoy most is, again, going back to that concept that someday, 20, 30